So finally, after almost a decade of being friends, we finally get to meet and talk live about your music, your life, and your journey.
Yes, sir.
Absolute blessing to finally meet you. I mean,
shout out to you, G80s. It's been a pleasure. Over 8 to 10 years of appreciating just the networking between us and the whole monster crew of independent hot music artists. And you were definitely a flag on pushing this quality music out there. So I thank you. And
pleasure.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So I want to really look at it's not just about your music. I'm interested in your journey.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
When I first met you, I thought, oh, West Coast immediately.
Yeah.
And then I delve a little bit deeper. It seems that there's a lot more, not just to yourself, to your music. So can you take us back to Yonkers, please, where you were born?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Born and raised in Yonkers, New York, back in late to mid 70s. Yes, older cat. You know, we come from a generation of morality, ethics, but from the hood, from the streets. I grew up with Mary J. Blige, DMX, right around the area in the same era. Watched the Locks grow, Jadakiss, Chic Styles, and a whole plethora of other independent artists throughout Yonkers, the Bronx, and different genres. So I just enjoyed being in the mix of a great era of music and just put myself in a lot of good places, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to YO, Riverdale, the streets, it was great times. DJ Superior, the original DJ for DMX, you can check out a lot of his projects independently over there. He got my man, Jerome Mendes, amazing book writer. He has a book out called The Yonkers, the Lost City of Hip Hop. Amazing. You know, there's a lot of champions from YO that people need to hear about. So yeah, I just rap.
Every time I delve into something with somebody, you expose this massive, rich vein of musical talent. I mean, yesterday talking with Kills from Detroit.
Shout out to Kills. He's hot. He's hot.
Yeah, it speaks for itself. I mean, I'm not even touched anywhere else actually live. I mean, Memphis is steeped in historical music.
Crazy. So, yes, sir.
For you personally,
yes, sir.
I know that you've got an actual musical background. What came first? Was it the musical instrument? Did you pick up a mic? What was it?
It was a combination. You know, high school, like in the 80s, was real heavy. You know, the top dogs, Run DMC, Houdini, and all that. So I was in that hip hop plethora, but I'm from Yonkers. So Yonkers is kind of a multicultural city. You had a little bit of everything going on in there. If you stepped outside of the hood, you heard the 80s rock, grunge, British punk, Blondie, Depeche Mode, you know.
My favorite band.
Shout out, you know what I'm saying? There were certain bands and music that just collided well with hip hop, you know, The Clash. Come on, man. There were certain bands that really resonated. And being so that hip hop was what I grew in, I just got to hear different genres and I just felt it. You know, you just know the energy, the quality, the sound, it just grabs you, you know? And that's what I try to bring to my music and to whatever we present. That's why I deal with rock, alternative. You hear a little jazz with me. I have no limit. I don't filter myself from exploring. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I can see. It's evident in your music. Before we get on to your latest project, which is just something off the hook. It really is. It's something that I've not heard before. So before we get to that. You've gone from Yonkers. When did you arrive over in the West Coast, and what was your intention?
That's deep. You know, California has always been a spot that I visited. You know, being from the hood, I did a lot of enjoyable things. I was raised by a strong family in the unit. You know what I'm saying? Where everybody goes through their different dysfunctions or whatever. But I was raised primarily with uncles and aunties and my grandmother. My mother moved to California in the early 80s while I was a kid. So I would bounce back and forth and visit her in certain areas of California. She was living in Southern California at the time, so I experienced their schools. I got to know the nature of what was going there. And again, music, which is my connection to everything, I heard a different genre of music, the sound. So I'm vibing off of Red Hot Chili Peppers now. I'm vibing off of, you know, those 90s clicks. You know, you go to Seattle sound.
Nails and people like that.
Exactly, STP, Stone Temple. Yeah. I was different, you know, I was just knew my style was different. So I would go to certain places and that resonated me. That kept me away from a lot of the drama, just music. So that's how I
kept you away from a lot of crime, you say?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh,
Pretty
I'm
much.
really glad to hear that.
I had my bumps and bruises as a juvenile. You know, we all grow up, but you know, I just took it in stride and dealt with it properly. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to, you know, there's no need to show your face and spite yourself, you know, cut your nose off. So I just tried to breathe easy. Let's live. Let's live.
It was never a gangster rap, and I want to be a gangster while I'm being a gangster rapper sort of vibe.
That's not my get down. I don't, you know, I believe in security, protecting, you know what I'm saying? I'm from a different breed. I was raised by strong, independent women, you know what I'm saying? And there were men in the home that took care of their children. So that's what I saw.
That resonates with me. I'm very close. I mean, I'm a single father with my 2 children living with me.
Shout out to my man. Shout out to you.
Yeah, so I feel that, and I needed that strong, independent woman behind me when things were tough. My mom was there for me as well. So
you understand.
Well, actually, my grandmother more than anybody else. My Yiddish grandmother.
Yiddish. Okay.
And turned my mind to my religion and made sure that I knew about where I come from and my roots.
Humble. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm an immigrant myself, my friend. I'm only second generation Russian. So
whoa, okay.
Yeah.
And you know, the demographics of where you're from and where we're from and how we see the world is so uniquely intertwined with how music treats us. Like you see, you won't see too many of our cultures connecting without music being some form of bond.
That it bothers me greatly that the Jewish community and the Black community haven't identified with each other, because it's comparable. Extremely. And I just think if we kind of sat down and went, actually, we could be just one voice and have that
spectrum. Yes,
I really truly believe that, and I speak about this online when with, like, you know, Israeli activists, and I say it's nice now that the Ethiopian Jews, the Ugandan Jews, they're coming back home, and that's where they belong.
And that's where they belong. Yes,
yes. Black.
And you said, you got to understand, being like, there's a cultural shock again between both of our understandings, because here in America, the slave mentality is still strong. I must admit, the way things are. Jim Crow era was just an era in the 60s, but there is a biologically and technologically and I would say spiritual and emotional generational curse that has formed itself and brought us to this place where, pardon my French, there's a I don't give a fuck mentality. And everybody's heart, I believe in everybody's heart. I love my life. I love to give life. I love to experience seeing people happy. And if I can create music that does that, I'm all for it. But you see so much uneven terrain, and you know for a fact, if more people come together like yourself and me and how you do for other artists, do you know how much simpler life can be?
Very much so.
And you know, so like I said, we come from a different strand, bro. That's all I see it as. We come from a different cloth.
And that you're saying you still feel that now?
Yes, most certainly.
Well, for me, it was 75 years ago. For me and mine, 75 years it's a drop. It's nothing really, and it's actually been shown that trauma passes down, and I think that's evident within music. There's no with the blues music, it's pain.
Yes,
it ain't happy.
Yeah, no, at all.
But
you hear it in the music, you hear it in the tones, and that's why I said there's always going to be that chemistry between the cultures, because of how the sound resonates beyond just what you look like. It's how you feel. It's how you feel.
This right now, sitting here right now with you like this, just politicking like this is a different style of interview, and I've got to say, I absolutely think it's something very, very special. Thank you very much.
To you, bro. This is the reason why we all have to come together in different fashions just to experience LIFE, living in full effect. I call it life, living in full effect. And you gotta experience by asking questions. It's okay for you to ask questions that you're not certain. It's okay. It should be okay for us to provide information that may make us a little uncomfortable. But for you to understand, for me to understand your pain, we can do this, and without animosity, without anger, without feeling some kind of way about it. I'd rather understand you rather than just be prejudge you on what I'm experiencing in your everyday. I want to understand you, so talk to me. And the honesty creates that balance. We good, man. We good. I've always said that there many years ago, the way you presented artists and how you reflected the music. That's why me and Hardhead spoke heavy. He was like, we got to reach out to that dude from the UK. We got to reach out to that brother from the UK. We would keep in touch with you, bro, because
I remember Sham. Sham Rocker said to me one day.
Yes.
Sham Rocker's come to me one day and he went, "You do know that in Riverside, everybody's talking about you."
Yes. There was big noise about everybody was talking. Yo, this is dude GeeHateases from the UK making noise. Yes, Sham Ruckus, myself, Hardhead Music was making noise. That was just around the time we were dropping the new volume. We've been together a lot of years, bro.
Yeah.
This has been a relationship. You've seen us grow with a lot of different artists, and you've supported so many. And I salute you.
And now this is where I'm gonna be here now again, full time. Anybody needs anything from me on this actual platform, it's there, ready, waiting, new videos, books, screenplays. You have something to promote, bring it, we'll do it as best as I possibly can. I'll be honest, I'm still learning. I was a little bit of a technophobe, but I'm slowly starting to get the gist of it, and it's starting to go well.
Most certainly, because the game is changing itself. I mean, you remember when we were rocking CDs? You remember when cassette tapes were banging? This is a whole new genre. People are streaming now.
Remember splicing, tape and...
You brought it back, bro. Yo, do you remember putting the two cassettes together to record from your peoples? You put a record over here and press play over here. This is an era. This is an era. No one
will ever understand. The Flintstones, my friend. Talk to me. But that's what I'm saying. We're from a time where music was actually created in such a profound way. Now it's so simplistic. It's overrated, but you still have to search to hear quality. And I'm glad that you still present that quality. How's it now that it's been simplified and then platforms are available to you? Do you mind me asking?
Yes, please.
Has it come from where you might have to go and get up at 5 a.m, work 2 jobs, do this, just to get into the studio and do studio time? Has anything changed for you? Are you now able to the money that's coming, an income from the music that's enabling you now to just concentrate and have that money for music, and have, if you're working, that takes care of your mortgage, your bills, your kids, your wife?
That's right. I respect this question. I'm gonna answer it just as I'm sure every smart, intelligent, even a mainstream artist would. You go through this thing called the roller coaster of life. Every industry artist should know this. A 33 1/3 percentage. You know this, right? Please do. 33 1/3% of your publishing. If you sell 1 million records, 33 1/3% of that belongs to you. That's it. So come on, let's keep it real. That's literally just the job of a year of any construction or distribution worker. Heavy hitter. You're looking at about 130,000 at 6 figures max. If you sign $1 million contract deal in America, this is what's real. Let's talk about the realness. If you have to have your contractual agreements, make sure you're not stuck in a 30-30 deal. The real industry heads know what's going on. Getting caught up with 2 labels and having to make sure they get paid before you even see a residual or a royalty. Mechanicals, you have to understand the game. And a lot of people get caught up in, I got 40,000 from a label advance.
Immediately. And you're not getting anything else for
You're not getting another. No, what's going to happen is 3 years from now, you'll still be owing them the 40,000 plus interest if you don't sell it all. That's another part of the game nobody's telling you about. You know what I'm saying? So you have more artists out here in the struggle, playing the game, showing a new face that's going through more of a struggle than the average working dude making $17.50 an hour. I know some personally.
And whereas
on blast, but it's real. No, not to cut you off. I'm not putting any artist on blast, but it's so truly real. I know artists whose records are like gold, hit platinum series and everything, and literally are just as well in the struggle as the next man making $17.50 an hour on a job, taking care of 4 kids and a wife. I know this.
I'm staggered. Obviously, I get a lot of music. I get a lot of music sent to me, and I am absolutely staggered at the level of quality. It's always perfect.
Right.
And I say to myself, yeah, that's a hit record. That's a Grammy.
Yeah.
And Nip, God bless him,
yes,
waited his turn. He waited his turn, and he kept on going. And it just as it really turned,
just as it rained,
as it turned for him, And that man didn't need to go like that. There was no reason for him to go. He's not a bad person.
Right. At all.
He gave to his community. And that for me, I know the Biggie and the Pac issue was worse, but
this one was strange.
It was really
strange. Of all people. At the time, timing and everything. All I can do is say this: I leave hip hop politics alone. I don't mess with the hip hop cops. I keep my nose clean. That's a whole different pair of jeans. That it is real. You know, people think it's a myth, but there's this little squad of individuals that infiltrate hip hop.
Hey, these youngins nowadays, they crazy.
They have no clue. They have no clue. And that's why I said it's hip hop's not dead. Hip hop took a left turn like jazz did many years ago.
Yeah.
Hip hop took a left because the new generation, I appreciate the involvement of how the new generation enhances music, which we all have, you know, our generation created hip hop. We come from the generation of hip hop. I was always waiting for a new generation to bring something. This should be the next generation.
And they brought us.
And they brought us trap.
They brought us trap and auto tune.
Oh yeah, auto tune. It's technologically sound. It has this unique, but I'm like, where's the character?
Yeah.
Where's the personality? Where's the uniqueness? Where's the difference in how many artists sound exactly the same? I get a lot of this new generation's confused. Little Dirt, Little Pop, Little Smurf, Little this, Little that. I remember Little Wayne. I remember Little John. Everybody was, but there's too many. It becomes a cloning.
Yeah.
Everybody sounds like Drake. Everybody sounds like Wayne. Everybody sounds like Yachty. Who is who?
And then you get Drake, who came with a little bit something different with a voice. I was talking last night about Proof. I used to fast forward or rewind video just so I could hear Proof verse. Right. Just his voice goes like, right, that's just different.
It's clean and different, very different. That cliche.
And what I like about we've just been saying then about it's the longevity of the area, like you say, within Compton, with Compton's Most Wanted, MC8, Cocaine.
Right. Hey, shout out to 8. That's my dude.
Dirty Red.
You know. Red. Shout out to Red. I got to give him a big shout out. You know what was funny? Dirty Red, I had a track for him many moons ago. Shout out to Red if he's watching. I had a track. Oh, man. We got teammates. I don't even want to go into it. We got stories and love. Shout out to Big to the Boy.
Big to the Boy.
There's so many monsters.
Yeah, my apologies. I forgot him then.
Yeah, Z Riddler. We talking monsters. We grew with these dudes. I watched them grow while I was here in Cali. Most of this is on my Cali Connect. I was a co-defendant, straight wild nuisance. I didn't get to Cali and link with them cats until 06.
You can just tell that I'm a West Coast lover.
True story. But we linked up, and Chocolate, shout out to Chocolate from Aftermath. You probably heard of shout out to him. He's a legend. Choc is a legend, bro. He produced, a lot of people don't know, he produced Vanilla Ice Baby. Shout out to him. You know what I'm saying?
What a great track. Earned him a right.
You know? Made him he's an
MC Hammer, another one. Respect.
Hey, major respect. He bought, personally, I think Hammer bought hip hop to the pop market.
I asked this question. I asked this question a couple of nights ago. I'll ask it you now while it's fresh.
Okay.
Do you go against what your musical value and your musical integrity is?
Never.
For that payday?
Never. That's the main reason why I never really signed with me. I've had 8 major record deal contracts offered to me and denied them all. Not financially, but integrity-wise. I saw what the plan was with my market. I paid attention to what they wanted to push me as. I paid attention to what songs they chose from the list that I created. And I would be like, oh, y'all want another Wu-Tang type cat. You know, y'all want another Method Man looking type cat. Y'all wanted the Doug Pretty Boy with the talking shit.
Method Man, I'm not that dude. Just punching it out.
Yeah. Just hitting them hard. I can do that, but I also, they are, the dude with the lyrical content that freaks mentally. I like to spit, conscious lyrics subconsciously. And he can fit in there with J. Cole. He can fit in there with Kendrick Lamar. But I don't play myself. I'm older. I never put myself in the pocket where it's competitive. I do it for the love. I do it for the magic. I've been spitting since I was 7. You know what I mean? So. Do you recall that? Do you recall your first
your first rhymes that you've got in a book? Have you still got them like tucked away somewhere at home?
When I was 13 years old, during the era of the conscious mind era, I wrote a rhyme that my mother looked at me, my grandmother, rest in peace, she looked at me and
kind
said,
of like Fife and Quest and times like that.
Yes, exactly.
That
she
sort of
heard
time.
me, exact Tribe Called Quest, Jab, and so she overheard me in the room spitting, and she comes in the room and said, I thank you, grandson. You ain't out here cussing and all of that like the rest of them rapper boys. I was like, okay, because I never really, I define spiritual as in a physical form with 98-degree calculated level as norm. Manifested by the masses, gases to atoms, 17% H2O, you find the random. Total the sum to the physical lifespan, average 80 years the woman, 65 years the man, coincided with the world's population. What we're facing is a generation of annihilation. No time to run for the border, it's time to slaughter, say the animal for war, prepare our sons and daughters for the fight between the rich, the fight between the poor, the fight against a virgin, her fights against a whore. That's the type of spitting I was doing.
You and DOC are cut from the same cloth. Absolutely. There ain't no need for cussing if you don't need to cuss.
No,
that boy never cuss. I mean, yeah, you know, he had a obviously that, you know, absolutely unfortunate, dreadful accident.
Yeah, extremely. But you know what? I had the pleasure of hearing a video with him singing a classic. I'm not even going to speak on it, but he was singing a classic with his voice. I thought it was amazing. I'm not even search. Tell your crowd, tell the audience, search for that. Doc sings, DOC singing. Amazing video. Anywho,
can you repeat that, please, so we can get that, so we can make sure we can find that.
You gotta Google it. DOC sings. Exclamation point. That's all you got to do. The DOC sings. It's him in the car. I saw the video. It's massive. It's beautiful. I salute that brother right there. He just harmonizing with the song doing this thing. Anywho, let's get back to the track.
The minute you finished spitting, I just thought that DOC. No way.
Yes. You know, DOC was one of them, like, all honesty, went to a show many moons ago. It was Ice Cube. I think it was NWA. You remember what's my dude's name? My Jacob, I forget his name. And DOC was an opening act at the time. He opened up for NWA. And I happened to just be like in the building with a New York jacket on. I'm from NY. I always rap. And, oh man, what you doing up in this building right here? Woo, 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 woo. And this dude, I didn't know who it was. He just said, lean back on, cuz backed him up. So then these two big dudes were behind him. I didn't realize it was DOC.
On some rah-rah shit.
Yeah, no, just passing by on his way to the stage. So I'm like, oh, good look. And then I seen him, so I'm like, salute, big up, bro. You know, yeah, I always had love for DOC. His style and stage presence was amazing. He like a big man out there. He's good looking.
I also don't think that Warren G got the recognition either that he actually deserved in regards to schooling, for example, schooling Snoop with actually the way you build your rhyme pattern, the way you build your bars, and put Doggy Style together with him.
Warren G is like the hidden factor. I think Warren G definitely has that same appeal as during that era. A lot of people don't know his albums were so laid back and lean. Him and Nate Dogg, you know, they didn't consider him a spit gamer. I think he was more of a brain, just a brain. He knew how to play the game. He knew how to create that persona. So salute Warren G. I had the pleasure of meeting him. You know what's strange? God bless. I've had the pleasure of meeting Snoop's brother, a lot of family around Snoop. I never met Snoop. I met his uncle, rest in peace. You know what I'm saying? Partied, but I never had the pleasure of meeting Snoop in person. A lot of other artists around the gambit, I touched hands with. Shout out and rest in peace to Badass and my man Frank Nitty. Yeah. You know, Badass. I did a track I don't think was ever released myself, Badass and Superlow, back in 2000. I think it was 2008. In Ontario, and Badass was cool. I was our first time meeting up, and he was like, New York cat, I never did a track with a New York that wasn't signed. What you getting on this? I said, I just got love for you, son. I heard you was on this in the hood. Fuck it. My man hit me up and said, come through. So we spit bars together. Oh, shout out to my man Smurf. That's who introduced us. And then Badass is like, yeah, man, I see you. Like, all right. So we was cool. Introduced me to, I knew Cocaine through Chalk. You know, California, nice, good people.
Lovely man.
I had the pleasure of interviewing him because at one time, I think you remember, I was on when Hardhead and us on xradio.biz.
Yeah.
I had the pleasure of interviewing Cocaine at that time.
Great father as well. What a great father and husband.
The brothers are just a down-to-earth dude, just crazy with it too. Crazy. And same thing, the vibe
marriage
is good.
For decades, or
decades.
It feels like decades.
And you know, like I said, it's nothing but good people around. Shout out to all of, you know, old school. You remember old school?
Yeah.
Him and Chuck now doing their thing. I'm glad to see a lot of the soldiers from the era that I rock with, they still doing their thing. They got the on the run radio, they got their podcast popping. Shout out to them. Old school, big pop. So, you know.
I have a little tiny anecdote about we said about meeting Snoop. Never again, obviously, I've never been in the UK, never met him. And I was actually chatting by fluke with Eminem on Facebook, and Snoop's niece, some guy had tattooed on her wrist. I think about that. You know when you was a child, you draw a bird from
a bird, or something.
It was awful from a side angle. He did that to Snoop's niece, and Snoop was obviously like looking for the dude and ended up being arrested. And as he came out, Em was like, "Well, I'm on Facebook with GeeHateaseTV." And I said, "Oh, hi, Calvin. Nice to see your ass out of jail." He went, "How you doing, Hood?" I went, "Yeah, man, I'm doing pretty good, Hood. How are you?" He went, "I'm just glad to be here." And for that, I've kept it, and it's in there, and I'm never going to lose that. Just that little piece. And all I've ever been looking for all of this, a tiny bit of history.
It's that history, and that's all it takes.
Tiny bit of history of my own that I can say that no, I didn't rap, I didn't write, I didn't do it, but what I did do, I did my bit, just a tiny bit.
Just enough.
So I have these moments, and they're very, very precious to me.
As they should be. I've
been going through all the written interviews and started reposting them just to refresh.
And appreciate that too. Appreciate the get down. When you hit me, I was surprised. Not to cut you off, but thank you for that. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I just finished the project. This took me 4 years to finish the Mature and Secure project. Yeah. So due to the pandemic and issues like that. But I took my time, and I had no idea how I wanted to push it, literally, until you called me. I was putting my ideas, you know, what stream service, what companies am I going to affiliate myself with? I have a management squad. If I'm going to start over on that side of the world, stay here in the US, I'm just putting my head together on how I want to put my platform, because I'd rather stay independent. And it was just dope. I mean, I started thinking about back in the days how simplistic and fun it was, and with who, and then that's when I saw their message. And I was like, say words, start from the top. GeeHateases, let's go. Let's go. So again, appreciate you for this punch, man. It really did put some fire under my feet and allow me to start the journey. So
let's talk about that, Mature and Secure.
Wow. Yeah, fun stuff.
It's something, it feels like it was produced by like Pharrell, Chad Hugo.
Wow.
That like,
thank you. Wow. I appreciate that.
And every single track, there's something on it, and I go, oh, that's a message there. And he did that on purpose, by the way. And that's what I kept, okay, I've got this. And it was just something different. And it's something that, I've been playing in my car, driving around, having a listen, and I've had people get in my car and go, what is this? And who is this? What is it's eclectic, isn't it?
Yes, that's where I wanted to be.
A couple of tracks, it's almost like, it's very clever when a musician can play a slight off-key note on purpose.
You're a musician. You're a musician level, and you know.
And that's not easy to do.
No.
To be able to do that, and some people, I actually thought some people are just not going to get this. They're not going to get it. What it means, and what effort has gone into producing that.
It was fun. It was different. It was a lot of love. It was a lot of pain. If you listen to a lot of the songs, it's like a roller coaster. Like I said, life is like a roller coaster, and I had a good 4 years to play with it and figure out what I wanted to present as far as me. I've always made hip hop and heavy hitter tracks. A lot of my songs that I'm on, I got the raspy voice. I'm showing y'all like there's always been, for me, Streets has always been a persona. I'm not Streets, I'm AJ. AStreetz is a persona. He was a personality, kind of rough around the edges, ladies like him, whatever. I'm just AJ. I'm a good guy at home, got a great girl, got a great life, beautiful kids. I'm just A. How you doing? But yeah, how you doing? But the streets would call me, and I do that artist. Thank you. And I just do the streets. I do what streets do when I'm out in the persona. You got shows, you're doing this, and everybody's, yo, Streets is that dude. Hey, Streets. I'm like, yeah, he cool. It's a different character. He cool. He all right. So with that being said, that was the album. I got him a chance to meet AJ Streets. And that's why I did the album the way I did it. And which is a blessing. Yesterday, I just released the single, Mature and Secure, on all streams. The video is available. The video has been available. The song, like I said, it took 4 years to do. And the first song I did was the title track, Mature and Secure.
I'll make sure that the new release for the new video overlap.
I appreciate that.
100%.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I just released that to the full platforms on the 26th, which is yesterday. And it seems to be doing fairly well. I haven't done the checking everything. You know, it's the weekend, Thanksgiving weekend. So I'm just enjoying it with my lady friend and my life partner. Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah, she over there. She in the kitchen enjoying life.
May I ask you, can you do me a favor with that? And I should be asking anyway. Can you just with your followers, can you just say, follow this YouTube channel? Follow the YouTube channel. Let's get this going. And it just means so much to me to try and reach a milestone, because I'm committed. I'm committed to what I'm doing, and I need more people to. And it's not about, for me, it's not about the monetizing kind of side of things. I don't really care about that.
They need to see the dude. They need to see the truth. And right here in front of me on video is the dude that brings the truth. And I want y'all to shout out and pay attention to GeeHateases. I'm gonna bring it to him.
Thank you.
I'll let him know. I appreciate it. I do appreciate it.
Thank you,
and that people need to appreciate it, because honestly, sometimes I know media doesn't give you the 100. And sometimes it takes this, like you said, I'm not going to splice this. I want this to be raw and uncut. And that's what's missing. And that's what I appreciate so much about it. You're allowing people to see the trueness of the artist.
I'm not knocking for 1 minute like Vlad TV.
Never.
7 years ago, we had an interview with Jar. And it was about why did he not clap back at 50 at an earlier opportunity?
Right.
And the opportunity was there for him to say something. And he just edited it all out. And I just thought, I needed to hear that. Like with Smurf, I needed to hear what Smurf had to say, because that was all interlinked, and it was all, let me tell you down how it went down.
I'm not a hater of the industry. Like everyone, I have favorite artists and least favorite artists. I, for one, am a major fan of Bang'em Smurf. I've been a fan of his before I knew about G-Unit. You know what I'm saying? Bang'em Smurf been in the streets making great music. I know you're a real hood dude for Queens. That's a real one.
For real.
You know what I'm saying? I've been paying attention to his music for years, and a lot of people are 100. I ain't gonna front. I've never really been a 50 fan. His movies is good. His music is great. I pick and choose who I think are great. And 50 is not in my top 20. People think I'm crazy when I say that. I'm like, who cares?
Not as a rapper. I think that Get Rich Die Trying is an absolute classic. But that doesn't mean that he is top 20.
No, not at all. Not at all. But and like I said, everybody has their own level of who's dope, who's not. I, for one, have a whole different top 10 list. And most people look at me, they hear my top 10, they're like, what?
Come on now, you can't leave us hanging. Give us at least 5.
All right. I'm gonna give you some of the 5 within my 10. Black Thought of the Roots is definitely in there. Talib Kweli is definitely in there.
From London, man.
Oh, you know what it is. The original, you know, and Slick Rick the Ruler, the other, these are
Behind Bars. He's in my top 10 albums of all time.
All time, you can't front, and and if you really wanted one of my major soldier lyrical content is.
I'm sorry. 1 second. Who gave you that? My ex, I said, who? Believe she had the nerve to say, you can wear it too. Slick Rich, off behind bars, about the coat. And I was like, no. No, I can just picture like the girl saying, yeah, it's his, but you can wear it too. Like, what?
Wow. Wow.
Stuck in my mind that line for forever, for 20, almost 30 years now. Almost 30 years.
Wow. That's deep. That's deep.
Sorry.
That's deep.
Number 5, number 4.
Number 5, number 4. Okay, Nas is in that list, of course. Lyrical sponge. He's crazy. Should I go there? Because people think I'm crazy when I say this. In my number 1 MC will always be and has been for many years, and hasn't been chopped down to size. If anybody remembers him, his name was. Most people call what do they call him on the tongue twister? Yeah, damn, I'm trying to remember. I'm being funny style because I mean most people they hear this say like, is it what? I'm like, it's Charlie Tuna from Jurassic 5.
Yep.
He's crazy. And it wasn't his story. Listen to his words.
Hey, he inspired Tech 9 for me.
Yes.
That's where he grew from that. I love Tech.
It's a different flow. It's a different texture. It's a different spit game. But I'm one of those people who like your lyrics got to make sense. They got to make sense. Charlie know how to make things make sense. And I'm not one to hear words and bars and metaphors just because it sounds cute together. Please give me some content. Give me some, when I'm spitting it, I want to know what I'm saying. I don't want it to just sound cute.
Yeah. There has to
be.
So
I'm from that. I needed to hear, Charlie Tuna is definitely one of those top. And of course, KRS-One, that's spit.
I've also got a big Jay-Z.
Jay is good. He's in my top 20, which is crazy.
He can punch out an album. It's lyrically clean. It's always on point.
I can't say top 20. He's in the top 10. Yeah, he's somewhere in the top 10.
Yeah, not top 10. Yeah. Top
you
10.
know about Pharaoh Monk, right?
Yeah, I love Pharaoh Monk.
Pharaoh's in my top 20.
Just occasionally have a very brief word.
No, bless you. Everyone, and like I said, I like to deal with tongue twisters and people. Twister's a definite Twister from Chicago, definitely a flip monster. He's in my top 20. But there's so many to name from. I really don't have a number 1.
The title track from Training Day, Fuck You, by Pharaoh Monk. Yo soy grifo, no me han bordado un culo. Via Diablo. Brilliant line.
Crazy.
Absolutely cool.
Crazy. Tech 9 as well.
Tech 9.
I don't know.
Nina's one of my all-time favorite. I mean, I just think the world of him.
Just one of those dudes that has his linguistics and his cadence always just never fails. So
when we TX9. When he slowed it down, that blew me away. And I was just like, yeah, man, that's how it sounds on Ecstasy.
that's crazy.
Very clever. It's like Professor Fringy from doing a Humpty Hump from Digital Underground.
Oh, Digital, yes.
Yeah.
There were certain groups, like I said, there's certain groups that surprise you with good music and great, and then there's an artist that just is lyrically crazy. And
the Packet Man. I love the Packet Man. What a great concept, the Packet Man by Digital Underground. You don't need to cheat, just have a packet. Very clever. Very clever.
No doubt. But like I said, with everything that's going, especially hip hop, that's why I wanted to give so many other different genres. And just play with this project. As far as Mature and Secure was, I wanted to follow up on that title alone. I'm not a youngster out here. We're from a different era, so I'm much more mature with it, and I'm secure in how I'm presenting it. So that was the reason for the title.
Are you able to tour using Mature and Secure with your band?
Oh, most of it. I can't front most of it.
That's got to be your next move.
Yes, I'm actually, what's unique is we're forming an additional pieces to the band. We're actually by mix.
Yeah, you need something else in there, wouldn't you? You have to get that.
It's gonna vibe. I need a lot that sound, right?
Yeah.
So the band itself is just a three-piece, including myself on drums. I might just surprise people. I have this special drummer that rocks with me and shows me some stuff sometimes. And once in a blue, he might pop up and play, and I love them to death for it. But they're gonna play for me while we do some of our shows. But my main concern is to try to do a mini tour. We're just chasing sponsors right now. We're doing a pretty good thing right now with Meta.
I'm about to put you under pressure.
Okay.
I've had a set of drums sitting in my room for God knows how long. And then if you ever get the chance and you have an hour or something,
I will bless it. I will bless it.
Come and give me a few little pointers because I'm desperate. I'm desperate. It's the one that speaks to me. Well, any other instrument. When I go to a live music, I stand there and I look at the dude's feet. And I'm watching his feet, and I'm impressed by it. I'm like, yeah, look what he's doing.
You know,
when
he
was around to two basses and two high.
What happened? I'm blessed to be kind of like I play on both sides, so I kind of.
So you're ambidextrous with your feet as well.
Yes, I can switch up. But what I did was I learned to. I would just get break beats, old school break beats, and play them and just practice. That was my practice. I was blessed to have a little cheapy drum set as a kid. My grandmother kept me in the porch in the back and just, boy, go do that and go play your drums. And I made noise in the yard, but I would sit there and just play break beats, Funky Drummer, James Brown and all that. And I got better. Over the years, it sounded like crap, but I learned to slow down, speed up. And, until high school, I can
relate to the sounds like crap thing.
Yeah, and you grow with it. And by freshman, I was like, at this high school in particular, I was the first freshman captain of the snare squad. I was the second captain as a freshman. So it kind of, oh, Sam, I am pretty good. And yeah, it was fun. I was a nerd in school. I was one of them kids that studied, and that helped out a lot. Grandma wasn't playing those games. And,
yeah, I'm a nerd as well. Must have a bit of a
I say my nerd. I don't front on it. Nerds get it at the end.
Yeah, I read.
You live and you learn. You live and you learn.
You learn for sure.
You live and you learn. But other than that, I'm just looking forward to y'all listening to Premature Insecure Part 2. I'm releasing 2 more singles coming in December. Simplicity, which I had the pleasure of doing with Westwood Red once again. That song, I Like That. Yep. That's my boy Westwood Red. But you'll also hear my man Karaz from a group called Quest One. Now, you may remember Yes, you've heard of Quest One. I know Lindsay Sparks. They came together and created a group, and we actually did a wonderful tour like a year and a half ago in Germany. And came back, killed it, a couple of tours, and they were in the process of figuring out an album. I believe they're still working on the project. And as I said, are forming a new band. This will probably be 9th Street. We're going up one block. So we're going to create a 9th Street band and have fun with this tour and see what happens. But in the meantime, the Dojo, which is the recording studio that I work out of, we are a little bit of everything, analog and digital. We play live. We blend the two, digital recording, and we go live. And I'm just thankful to have such dynamic players around me. Sid Damage from the original A Street band still rocks with me. He does the guitar for Give It To You, which is my favorite song on the album. He's the solo guitarist.
My favorite.
Thank you. And Adam Valdez and Verdugo, amazing dudes. They are the proprietors of the studio. They are gigging with.
They produced it.
No, I actually produced it. They mixed and mastered the album. Okay. They mixed and mastered the album for me. I produced 90% of the tracks except for Uno, which was the club song.
Yep.
Bag of Boom Productions produced that with me.
You need that. Yeah. You need that club song. You have to have that crossover.
Yeah, gotta have a crossover. So the club joint came with me through Bag of Boom. Shout out to Bag of Boom Productions in New York. They blessed me with the club track, and I just did that as an intro. Shout out to Willie Esco. He produced that from Bag of Boom Productions. And I'm just having fun with it. Like I said, I'm not scared to step out my box and try new things. Willie Esco came with something. He stepped out his box and made a club track. He's more hip hop. His sound is more Dipset, Rough Rider. So he was out of his set when he made that beat. So I just said, let's put that on my album, bug out. He's like, hey man, I ain't using it. And it was just fun. It was all fun.
Well, I've got to draw this to a close because of the difficulty getting loaded up onto YouTube. It's been a bit of a difficult thing. But this has been an absolute pleasure.
I thank you for taking the time to record this. And again, I want to thank everybody who's listening in and watch it later or watch it now for being involved. And please keep linked to my man, GeeHateases. He is amazing. Check his show. He's bringing it to you, giving you the hottest and independent artists, showing you a lot of worldwide entertainment.
Thank you.
And y'all just need to link up. And as far as you, my brother, I'm proud of you. Thank you for coming back and letting the world know that there's more high quality out there.
Thank you very much.
You got it.
Have a blessed day.
Mature and Secure. Mature and Secure Part 2. Right now, get him.
Take care. Peace.
Let's go.
Take care. Bye-bye, my brother.